Royal author claims Meghan Markle faced animosity at the palace and someone hated her. Ugh, no wonder she left. Okay, so it's historian Robert Lacey says there was personal animosity towards Meghan in the palace, and someone who Lacey does not name hated Meghan. Now we know Philip, he's a tough one, okay, because with Fergie, after the toe sucking, that's it. Uh, Philip will not be in the room with Fergie after the toe sucking incident, and Fergie comes to Sandringham, and if Philip is coming on the way, Fergie has to leave. So Philip is kind of pretty tough. He's really straightforward. So I'm kind of wondering if it's a man or a woman. Uh, I don't think we can directly identify Philip. let's uh and there's so much nonsense around Meghan. Money is going missing, $35 million, $9 million seems to go to Doria. Jewels are going missing. She gets banned from the Diana collection. She gets banned from the palace itself. Then then she's writing journals. That journal became Finding Freedom, which is published by Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand. Oh my goodness, she is so constantly in your face, daring you to say anything. It's wow. I've experienced this, and what do you do? Someone like that is always threatening and controlling you. And that's what I think she's doing to Harry, which is she's not able to constantly threaten and control and just keep Harry chained in the kitchen if he's in England, because he has too much support. So she literally left the country with him and isolated him from everyone so that she could have that much control. Okay, so during a chat with the Sunday Times, Robert Lacey basically confirmed that Duchess Meghan was treated super poorly by the palace, who had open animosity for her. He even claimed that one person who he wouldn't name actively hated her, which is insane because she is extremely down to earth, nice, and kind, which is more than we can say for some members of the royal family. Okay, extremely down to earth. They had this barrage of promotions where Meghan was cooking for everybody, taking off their shoes, making hot tea, just makes her own baby food. They were pushing this narrative, pushing. They're not pushing that narrative anymore, which is interesting. Quote, there was a personal animosity in the palace towards Meghan, and the feeling is mutual, Lacey said. Quote, there was someone in the palace, and I can't name them, who hated Meghan. There's no love lost there. Hey, YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. Was there someone in the palace that hated Meghan Markle? We're going to take a look at the, sort of a smorgasbord of what the neighbors think of Meghan. Is she being trolled? Because she was just saying that she was being, the most trolled person on the planet. Stuff like that. Let's take a look at some of Meghan's relationships, because I think she has notoriously bad relationships. Unless she's love bombing you, I think you either love or hate Meghan. And I think that's kind of how she comes off, because she's so self-serving that either she's love bombing you or she's freezing you out and starving you to death. I mean, that's the kind of person that she seems to come off as. And I could definitely see, the palace turning against Meghan, because there's a lot of evidence of this, being banned from palace grounds. That's not a warm and loving, hey, come on over here and give me a hug. Not being allowed to use the Diana jewelry anymore, that's kind of punitive and restrictive. So I could see, let's just explore it. Did someone hate Meghan in the palace during her time there, of course? All right, what do we have? Did someone hate Meghan Markle in the palace? Well, there's a lot of people involved. She hurt Straight Razor. The woman hurt a lot of people. She took digs at a lot of people. She seems to me to be very confrontational. 7 and 12, 19, 5 clubs, 2 or more. She seems very confrontational, like she's constantly doing things and daring you to stop her. That's like writing that journal. Everybody, she would have kept it secret, but Harry would have known, and uh, they would have seen her doing it, and people would have been like, you're here forever. I don't know why you're writing a journal, but she was planning her exit from day one, writing Finding Freedom from day one. You know, uh, Recording, taking photographs. Did they catch her? Oh yeah, oh yeah. And people were alarmed. Why would you be taking photographs, Meghan? So she kind of cuts everybody and kind of dares everybody. She's screaming at people, throwing tea at them. Everybody's quitting all around her. So she's kind of really hard to deal with. She's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde personality, behind the closed doors. Man, oh man, anything can happen. There's no witnesses. It's kind of like that. Deeply rooted conflict in the deeply rooted situation in the family and the people around her, all because of emotions. 10 Cups is the card of too much emotion. Everybody committed to working together. They kicked her out of the royal palace. 8 spades, 10 diamonds. Literally, they kicked her out of the royal palace. So, do I see anyone hating on Meghan? No. I do see her kicked out of the royal palace. I see her cutting, ace of spades, the straight razor. It cuts, it digs, it cuts, it creates problems, it's jealous, it hurts you, and it's a lot of it. Okay. I see a lot of conflict, and I see her uh, cutting a lot of people, and it's all this emotion. She acts like this because she's very emotional. She acts like this because she's upset. The most recent thing we see is Meghan and Harry. They have their court case on January 11th. So, of course, they were going to go spend Christmas with the Queen and the royal family at Sandringham. Then uh, the uncle of Kate Middleton comes out and says, "Shut the F up, you Muppets." Okay, like that. I mean, literally, like that. I mean, wow. And then they immediately canceled Christmas with the Queen and the royal family. If there was an Archie, if Archie exists, goodness gracious, don't you think they need to see Archie and pick him up and smell him and play with him and have the other kids play with him? And he's part of the family, and the dogs come around. The Queen has so many dogs, and the dogs play with him because dogs are basically children. Goodness. So I don't see any hate here. But again, them canceling Christmas, that's Meghan reacting. She's having an emotional reaction. So I don't see anyone proactively hating Meghan. Now I heard that they disabled the comments from the Teen Therapy podcast. They were talking to these teens. Meghan ended up, making it the Meghan Show and talking about herself, how she's the most trolled person in the world, which is objectively not true. But you can feel like that. That's Meghan's truth. She's talking from her feelings. So there's truth, and then there's Meghan's truth. Then there's my truth, your truth, and that's why they say, speak your truth. It's not the truth. It's not objectively true, but it's true. It's your truth, how you feel. And that's some new nonsense. So was Meghan being trolled? Were a lot of people just hating on Meghan because of the Teen Therapy podcast? Wow, devil. Was she being trolled? On the Teen Therapy podcast, were there a lot of people hating on Meghan? The devil. The devil hates. The devil is evil. The devil is capricious, nasty, No one's nastier than the devil. Exposed opportunity to be really nasty. 5 and 11, 16, 4 spades. They didn't want to show these really, really nasty comments. So, yes, Meghan was being trolled on the Team Therapy podcast. There are people who really can't stand Meghan and just really just say just the most disturbing things. And the devil will do anything. So the world on an ongoing basis is committed to watching, and from outside secretly. So everybody's watching. The people who love Meghan and the people who really can't stand Meghan and want Meghan to fall. So she's controversial. Okay, in order to be a world famous person, the most famous person in the world, you have to generate controversy. And she's generated so much controversy that she's developed a group of people who do troll her and really, really wish her ill. So let's look at Meghan and the neighbors, Meghan and Harry and the neighbors. So there's this talk that Meghan and Harry invited all the neighbors over. They just moved into Montecito, which is Santa Barbara, a burb of Santa Barbara. How are the relationships with the with the neighbors? And the word is, she invited everybody over for, I don't know, a snack, something, and everybody made excuses. And there's the Wu flu around, there's the bug. So there's reasons. People can always make up reasons. Oh, I'm busy. I have to go out of town. There's the bug. We don't want to expose our children. You don't know. That sort of stuff. So let's look at the neighbors and Meghan and Harry. Meghan's over here, so we'll put her over there. The neighbors, how's the relationship there? And Meghan and Harry. Let's over here on Meghan and Harry, karmic relationship, other decisions, 11 and 9, 20, 5 spades. I'm going to say that Meghan wants nothing to do with her neighbors. No contact with the neighbors. She chooses other people. 5 spades. She's making other decisions. I'm going to say that Meghan wants nothing to do with the neighbors. She's not reaching out to the neighbors. 5 clubs, she's reaching out to these wealthy and famous and powerful people who can help her, who can hustle her way to the top. Okay, the Tom Cruises, the Clooneys, the Oprahs, the Clintons. These are people that can hustle her to the top, and she's very interested in interacting with them, but she's not reaching out to the neighbors. Okay, what's on the neighbor side? Big change, isolation, and Hightower is very isolated. The damsel in distress is at the top of the high tower waving her little handkerchief, please save me. She's very hard to reach at the top of the high tower, very isolated. Snake, difficult and vengeful. The neighbors have changed their mind about Meghan and Harry, and they don't really want to interact with them. Okay, they have a poor opinion of them. They're not like loving them. They're not like, let's go to McDonald's. I love Harry and Meghan. Just loving it. Just loving it. They're not loving Harry and Meghan. They've changed their mind, and they kind of want to stay away from them. 12, 21, 6 hearts. They're not looking for relationships with Harry and Meghan. Meghan and Harry are not reaching out to the neighbors, and it's mutual. Neither party is interested in talking to the other. Ruler and cornucopia, money, 21. It's all about the money, honey. All the relationships, 21, 6 hearts, karmic relationship, is all about advancing and growing their fortune. Meghan and Harry, Meghan's driving the car, she's wearing the pants, she's piloting the ship. Their entire focus is making millions and millions of dollars, and they don't have time for idle chit chat. So Meghan's not interested. Meghan and Harry are not interested in interacting with the neighbors. And the neighbors have changed their mind about Harry and Meghan, and they're not interested in hanging out with them. So that's interesting. Let's see. Okay, there's also word that Meghan and Harry put out a non-disclosure agreement, to all the neighbors. Hey, sign this, some men with guns maybe, or vicious German Shepherd dogs would come to the neighbor's door and say, hey, we have this non-disclosure agreement for you to sign. Would you mind signing it? Now, that sounds really crazy, but remember the 10 commandments of Frogmore. Okay, Harry, don't greet the dog, don't pet the dog, don't offer to babysit Archie, don't greet Meghan or Harry unless they greet you first. Don't even make eye contact. I mean, who would put that out? Oh my gosh, what are you smoking? But yet they did. Okay, Meghan and Harry did put that out. I literally can't see Harry doing that. I can see Meghan doing that. Harry's been a royal his whole life. He never did any nonsense like that. And now Meghan is around and she clears out a whole section of Wimbledon. She, if she goes into a store, she doesn't want anybody in there. Goodness. So did they ask all the wealthy neighbors around them to sign an NDA, which would cause them to really change their minds? Did they ask for an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, to the neighbors? Because that turns your personal relationship into a business relationship. And that's weird. So did they ask the neighbors to sign an NDA? Water into wine can be a lying card, or it can be transformation. Heart, good intentions, transformed over a long journey. They haven't been there that long. 19, 5 clubs, 2 or more things. Speaking with a forked tongue and deception over the long journey and good intentions. They could have been very deceptive about, asking for an NDA. What do we have here? We have home, which is your neighbors and people close to you and your family, people close in the cornerstone, and player. Player is a great business card. 11 and 8, 19, 5 clubs. Both add 5 clubs. Player wants something. Okay, player's actor, actress, but player wants something. Players like Fox, and they go right after it. A cornerstone. I'm going to say maybe. I'm not going to say no or yes. I'm going to say maybe because there's deception and speaking with a forked tongue here and a player. So I'm going to lean towards a yes, that they did ask for something like this, and they may have asked for more than that. Okay, and it really changed the minds of the neighbors. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. Okay, you're just really kind of obnoxious, Meghan and Harry, and I don't want anything to do with you. Oh, Archie's sleeping. Oh, we can't see him. Oh yeah, I could have guessed that one. Okay, so but we can pet the dogs. Oh yeah, the dogs are everywhere. They're ubiquitous. I mean, they're always out, but we never see Archie. Okay. No, I wasn't planning to take a picture of Archie, but now that you mention it, I'm going to pull my fancy phone out. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say maybe. It's not clear. It's not clear. It's not clear if they have or that they did or did. All right, let's review here. Okay. Let's ask. All right, let's ask about this NDA. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Yes, no. Did Meghan and Harry ask the neighbors to sign an NDA? Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for me, sinner. Now, yeah. Yes, they did. Yes. Yes, they did. That's a clear yes. So they did. They did. So glad about the sticks. It's biblical, like they cast lots for stuff. That's how the sticks work. All right. Did someone hate Meghan in the palace? No. But Meghan is always reacting very, her excuse for all of her behavior, good and bad, is the cup overflowing. She always gets the cup overflowing and the devil. Okay, and it's very endearing, I think, from someone like Meghan. That doesn't work for a man unless the man is flaming, sort of very flaming gay. I've seen flaming gay men do that, and that's no criticism or disrespect. It only works for them. It doesn't work for a man. This kind of behavior can work very well for a woman, and Meghan has mastered the overly emotional, kind of gushing, love bombing thing, both sides. Okay, and if she's very reactive, she's very emotional, she's always just very, that's how she comes off. I don't believe she is an emotional person. I believe she's a very calculating person. Okay, but she comes off very emotionally. But I think it takes a while for people to figure out, oh, she's not really emotional. She just comes off as very emotional. That's kind of the mask that she's wearing. So the comments were disabled in the Teen Therapy podcast. Was she being trolled? Oh, you bet. Oh, you bet. And it does show that she has supporters and detractors. And the detractors follow her around just like the supporters. So she's developed a large group of people that really don't like her and do troll her. She really is trolled quite a bit. Meghan and Harry and the neighbors. Neither one wants anything to do with the other, and that's probably because of the NDA. Okay, because I did get a yes on the NDA. The cards are not as clear as they could be, but there's 4 deception cards showing. So I think they were kind of slick about how they were doing it, and they kind of jumped the neighbors. Oh, would you mind signing this NDA? Okay, which is really kind of weird. So, yeah, that's basically it. So, yeah. So the relations with the neighbors, and there is trolling, and she did ask them to sign an NDA, but she tried being slick about it. Like, oh, would you like a piece of pie? Oh, here, why don't you sign this NDA while you're at it? So that's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to the generous folks who support me and bought me a cup of tea. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment.